So it is January 16th. Had a lot of rain last night. Not blue skies outside, as you can see, but still really overcast. We're supposed to clear up over the course of the day. We got a lot of water. This is all standing water, so over the next 12 to 18 hours, this will dry up. But I digress. On the last video, I told you I was running water from our dog kennel, which is this building. So it goes underground from the dog kennel slash goat nursery, underground, all the way over here. And you can see where that, right behind where that leghorn is standing, and on the edge of the water is where it comes out. So this is the hole where this comes out, comes up right here. So this is the valve to turn water off to this entire building. Each fixture then has its own disconnect valve. So it comes out of the ground, goes into this T here, goes here. We've installed a hose bib. Hose bib allows LaLa to clean out any of the stalls as needed. We can fill waterers if needed. Right now, all of our automatic waterers on this building are for pigs. We will be installing some nose activated waterers in the coming weeks. We just don't have them yet. We're trying a different model. Same people that make the pig waterers, Trojan. We've ordered them, just haven't gotten them yet. So I'll be making some breaks in the line to install those waterers once we get them. So water comes up, makes a transition around this corner here, and I just kind of followed the fascia board all the way around, dropped it down here. This goes into the first kennel watering nipple right there. And I'll show you the inside in a bit. So, you know, I didn't mention this little thing that I built onto this during the original walkthrough, but people have asked, what is that? So if you look here, when you walk up to this, this is just plain old sheet metal roofing. Potentially I could walk up to this thing, smash my head on it, and I'm going to scalp myself. I didn't want to do that. So what I did, I took a piece of flashing, stuck it under this so that when the water comes down, just kind of runs off. And then, so when I bump, if I were to bump my head, I'm going to be bumping my head on this versus any of this sharp metal up here. Don't cut myself. All right, so it goes down, 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 around the back. And here I hit 3 more of the pens. So this one over here is Sucklefoot taking his morning nap. So as I said earlier, at some point in time, we are going to be getting some additional waterers for the goats. Right now, everything that's in here are the pig watering nipples. We're going to be adding some for the goats, which is going to require that I chop into these downspouts that I've put in, disconnect them temporarily, put a T-junction in, and then I will plumb this for the goat waters. That will involve kind of cutting it here, putting in a T, running another line, probably down all the way to the other end, and then putting in the other livestock water here. So each pen will have both a hog nipple and a other livestock nipple, whether that be goats, whether that be small donkeys, whatever. They will be able to use that one water. So that's the first pen. Second pen, this one I just put in yesterday, so it's not even turned on, so you're seeing it for the first time. So that one just got charged. Here is Pork Chop. This is his water. Again, same premise. Come around here. And on this one, what I've done is I've put a T in here. See another line going up into the barn. This is ultimately going to be another water that's in really for expansion purposes in the future. This comes down, another spot for another hose bib. Coming around here. That's the one that's not even connected yet, so we've just got it turned off, but at some point we'll be able to put an additional waterer inside of the actual pole barn area of the structure, and then that will be another water. So it'll be a simple issue of just connecting it to that line. And then the very last one is this one, and I'm going to save that one to last, and we're going to put that in together, kind of show you what this process looks like, show you what I'm using. You'll see on here, I've already got most everything strapped in. These are simply 1-inch straps, and I've used metal roofing screws to put those in because they come with the washers already on them. I had a whole bunch of them in the garage, so I didn't have to buy anything. So the pipe's already strapped in. Hold that down. I'd say about every, it's not perfect, I didn't measure it, but probably every 18 inches to 2 feet or so. Anywhere where there's going to be extra stress, I've tied it down there on all the downspouts. Coming back around to the front, who do we find? LaLa with last year's, this is last year's bottle baby, Blue Baby. What you doing? What you doing?
She's getting moved. She's gonna be a surrogate.
Huh?
She's gonna be a surrogate.
What's a surrogate?
Well, not really. A surrogate would also be feeding the baby, but Lars is our bottle baby, so I want him to be around an actual goat instead of just having human contact, because
we want him to act like a goat and not LaLa.
Yeah. So I'm putting Blue in with him. That way he'll see her eating grain, eating hay, drinking out of the water provider and all that. So he'll learn how to do all that stuff. So, and it gives him company when I'm not around.
All right, Blue Baby. May the force be with you.
She's mad.
She's being separated from her girls.
She's mad because she got a harness put on her. She don't like the face thing. So she'll be all right though. Come on, Bluey. So because the baby's new, we put a hot box in here. That's what we call it. It's a hot tub.
All this is a 55-gallon barrel that LaLa's cut a hole in it, and they kind of climb in there and just kind of maintains a little micro environment in there, keeps them warmer.
Yeah, it keeps them out of the wind.
Well, let me come in here real quick. So here's one of these waterers. That's what we're going to build. So we've got two different brands in here. We have this one, which is what's called a Trojan brand, and this is the one we had at our local feed store, but we couldn't, they ran out of them. Now goats are not going to use this. We're going to have a separate bucket water in here for them for the time being, but it simply screws in to this slip fitting here, which is then inserted into this 1-inch coupling fitting into the 1-inch pipe, and then goes into a 90-degree elbow. Let's build one. Alright, so here are the components that we're going to use to build that one fitting. Okay, so we've got 190, one slip coupling, which goes into this coupling here. This is cut long enough to go through the 6x6, and then this will be the piece on the outside that goes up and connects to the valve. So first things first, whenever you're using PVC, you start with primer. I tend to use purple primer. These Odie products that I get from usually Home Depot or something, good products. They've got multiple types. This is just the all-purpose one, so I'm just gonna put that on here nice and liberally. You want to clean up those joints, anything where you're going to be making connections. You want to make sure you get cleaned up really good. Clean this outside of the slip fitting. what that looks like. Really basic. Let that dry, and we're done with that part. Let me show you this really quick. So this is the actual fitting. So this is a Monoflow is the brand name. I've got two different types, two different models in this barn right now. So this Monoflow, this is one that was available at a feed store down in Stark, Florida, a little bit south of us, because I couldn't get the Trojan brand that they were selling locally at our feed store, but they were out on the day that I tried to get them. So they come, essentially they're the same design, work exactly the same way, but the Trojan's a little bit thicker in terms of the gauge of the metal that's used to make these. So you'll see when you're looking at them on the shelf, they come with a red and a blue base on it. Now the difference between those red and the blue, let me show you how this works. So you basically got this piece here. This is a plunger. That's all that is. It's down in there. There's a washer inside of this. Then this spring goes in, and then this slips down in there. So the difference between the red and the blue is really the diameter, the size of the hole, the amount of water that's going to be allowed to come out. Now, I'm going to slip this back together. You'll note on the top of this that this comes with a automatic strainer screen in here. Strainer screen between the red and the blue is exactly the same. I am not going to put this nipple on until I install the pipe and then charge it, because of any contaminants that are in these pipes, any of them, pieces of dirt, stuff, I don't want to get stuck in that screen because it's a brand new nipple. So we'll charge it, wash it out, and then we will put the Teflon tape on here and then put it into the slip fitting. Okay, so let's get putting this thing together. So I am using, in this case, just all-purpose cement. There's all different kinds of PVC cement. This is just the all-purpose brand. I think this is what they had at Walmart. Now this is my preference. People might say, you're doing this all wrong. I don't care what you say. This is how I've done it for 40 years, and it seems to have worked really, really well for me. So I always start with the outside of the fitting, put it on there pretty liberally. And then I go to the inside of the fitting and put that on a much thinner coat. Okay, make sure you cover the entire interior. When you stick these together, you want a gentle twisting motion between 1/4 and 1/2 of a turn. Flip it on, twist it, and then hold it in place for at least 30 seconds. This is one of Rick Isaac's job, Little Rick's job, when he was up here helping me a couple of weeks ago, as he was doing the counting. He seemed to like that. All right, so next one. Now we just keep on going until we build this thing. So dip it again, outside first. And then the inside, a much thinner coat on the inside here. Grab it. Gentle twisting motion and push at the same time. Get that fully seated. Hold it again, 30 seconds. So I gotta show you this. Ever since I sat down, Melanie's come over and wants to give me some attention. Melody, come here, come here. There's Melody. Melody's the Nubian. Melody's up here for breeding purposes, being crossed with Warrior. Warrior's he's feeling it, but Melody's not feeling it yet. She has no interest in him and just rejects him at every point in time. So that's Warrior. He is a Nigerian dwarf buck, and Melody is our Nubian. All right, let's get back to work. All right, so that thing is set up. So now we're going to take the regular coupling fitting. On the outside, on the inside, and these are pretty easy. I just slide them right on there. Hold it. This glue I hate. It's nasty. Hold it for about 30 seconds. This is why you don't put a whole lot on the inside. If that focuses, I'm not sure if it will or won't. Look way down in there where the joints come together. You'll see there's not a whole lot of glue that's running to this end of the fitting. If there was, then that's going to make it more difficult for you to put the joint on this end, and overall it will probably weaken it a little bit. So always less glue on the inside of the joint, particularly when you're dealing with valves, because that valve in there needs to be able to turn. So if you get glue up into that ball valve, chances are you're going to probably foul up your valve. So always less on the inside. Let's make the final connection here. Go around the outside, go around the inside. We're just going to press these together. Alright, let's go put this on the barn. So all we need for this is our glue and our primer. We've already got this one primed, so I don't have to prime that again, but we got to prime. Well, first things first, I got to cut this. I always cut these a little bit long, so now I got to cut this pipe to length. So we're gonna cut this right about, just after years of doing this, I just know how long these things need to be. So we're gonna cut it right at that end right there. And there we go. So that should fit on there just perfectly, and it does. So now we're gonna prime this end. Apply our glue. Again, on this valve, I just want a much smaller coat and a thinner coat in there. And we are just gonna stick that right up in there, turn it, let it get seated. Hold it for 30 seconds, just like before. So Warrior's decided he wants to come in here and rub his little head and horns on my newly installed fitting. So we're going to solve that really quick. Now Warrior has no interest in that any longer. So I didn't do that just to be mean to Warrior. I had to charge it, get the water out of it, make sure that there's no dirt or anything that's going to get caught up in that strainer. But I don't think Warrior learned his lesson, because there comes Warrior again. Alright, so here's the last step in this. So Teflon tape. Teflon tape is used on threaded fittings in plumbing, and it is just what it says. It is tape made out of Teflon, and it will prevent leaking on threaded pieces. So let's go ahead and put this on. So this is going to be really simple. You'll see there's two flat edges here. We will twist it on just like that until this seats all the way up into that half-inch slip fitting. Let's get it put on. So we're coming in here to spend some time with Warrior. Smile. Smile, bud. Smile. He'll show his teeth. And Melody. Melody, you're just mad because you're in here with him, aren't you? You have no interest in Mr. Warrior. You just want to go back and be with your girls, don't you? You got no interest in. So there's a video going to be coming up after Melody gives birth. That's basically how to build a miniature Nubian. So miniature Nubian comes from crossing a Nubian with a Nigerian dwarf. So that will create a miniature Nubian, and hopefully that's what Melody will be providing us, is our first miniature Nubians. She's a good girl. So to thread this on, very straightforward. Start it by hand. See, that's threaded all the way up to the end right here. So now I can't charge this yet. This got to set for about 2 hours, let all those fittings completely cure. This wind is really blowing, so I'm sorry if the wind is interfering with this audio. We'll let that cure over the next 2 hours, and then we'll be able to come out and charge it. But the last part of this video is just kind of strapping this down, show you what we're doing, and then this is a wrap. So strapping these down is just really straightforward. This is a 1-inch strap made for 1-inch pipe, and because wherever you put these valves in, it causes the pipe to set out. We don't want to torque this too much, so I'm only gonna put these in partially and then just torque them down, really just until we got a good set on there. We'll put one more strap down here. These ones are not lifted out at all, so we'll go ahead and torque them all the way down. And for the third and final strap, that's going to go on the inside. I'm sorry, the camera just fell in goat poop. That wasn't supposed to happen. And again, this strap for the inside. Since this pipe lays flat right up against the wood, I can go ahead and put these screws all the way in. And that's a wrap. Here comes LaLa with our newest livestock barn resident. This is this year's first bottle baby, hopefully only bottle baby. This is Lars.
Boom, stop.
And he's going to be taking up residence with Blue Baby.
He wants his bottle. Come on.
So LaLa's got his bottle. Come on. He just follows her around like a little baby. How ironic. There's Blue Baby, checking out her new tenant.
Some wind. I'm done. Full baby.
All done, dude.
Full
No,
belly.
I don't think he thinks he's done.
No, he don't. He'll start acting out.
How much weight did he gain?
He's gained a pound, so he's up a little bit. So we're up this feed a little bit. You give them 20% of their body weight in a 24-hour period.
Why'd you pick Blue Baby?
She likes the babies. She's real gentle with them. She plays with them, and she just seems to accept them better than some of the bigger ones do. So I didn't want to put him back in with the herd. When I tried putting him in with the herd, a lot of the mamas were kind of aggressing towards him, and he just didn't know what to do.
This is when his mama completely just rejected him.
Yeah, she had, it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while. This is the first time on our farm, but I have heard of it happening at other farms.
What?
A first-time mama, it'll be kind of traumatic, and they just don't know what to do. And she wanted to be a mama. She was very attentive and everything, actually overly attentive to him. but she would not let him eat for nothing. If he went back towards her bag, she just started screaming and just went
Would kick him.
berserk and kick him. And a couple of times she slammed herself into the fence trying to get away from him. So didn't want her to hurt herself, didn't want her to hurt him. And he needed to eat.
So Blue Baby is going to be the foster parent.
Yeah, she's fostering. I'm Meals on Wheels.
So, Blue Baby the foster parent, LaLa Meals on Wheels, and Lard is figuring out what the heck's going on in life.
How do I be a goat?
How do I be a goat?
So he's healthy. He bounces a lot. He's a very hoppy baby. He hops around quite a bit.
Not sure what we're going to do with him yet. He might end up taking up residence with Magnus.
We'll see. Told you he's really hoppy. Blue's kind of, I don't know about this one. I haven't seen this baby.
Yeah, she goes out there and she nuzzles on them, and it's just really cute to see her interact with them, which is interesting because this time last year she was a bottle baby herself.